and he treated me like this, I took it personal. But as I got older and I see the man that I became, now that I look back on it and say, dang, it's the reason why you did that. I appreciate it more because it definitely brought the best out of me. And going into the next year, going into school, I jumped like 3 reading levels. And that shocked all my teachers, So in that case, I just always knew that everything he did wasn't just for the benefit of him or just trying to be hard on me, it was the benefit of me. Because, one day that he always said one day he's not going to be here. And it's going to be my job to take care of the family. And I feel that he prepared me in every way possible.
Wow. I'm pretty sure a lot of our listeners are wondering the same question. Like, at what point, you just mentioned, there was a point where he was so hard on you for these good things that you, at the time, at a certain point, you didn't think he liked, like you thought he hated you. At what age and at what point did it really, really hit you what he was trying to do for you?
I can definitely say it was my freshman year. It was my freshman year because going to high school, I knew, a lot of people. And a lot of people, when they came to high school, as freshmen, they was acting, going, how freshmen is in high school. Their eyes was big, doing a lot of things. And for me getting taught, being so hard on, I came in there more focused than I ever was. Growing up, I wasn't always the best athlete. I didn't grow up with the skills and, just naturally. So throughout that time, a lot of people who was more skilled than me, more bigger than me, more better than me, over the course of time, me staying focused on my work and staying focused on training hard, because I carried the same mentality in the classroom to the field, I realized that, my skills put me over them after a while, and I realized that was nothing but discipline. So then going into my sophomore year, I started getting more scouted and getting more looked at because my discipline put me in that situation to be talked about that my dad installed in me. Yeah.
Okay. You talk a lot about sports and how it coupled up with your real life. And I also believe that there's a lot of things that we can gain from playing sports, understanding sports, and watching sports. Let's say, how far are you looking to take? You're still playing football?
Yeah, college football right now.
Okay. Why do you play college football right now? Are you playing it just to be a college player? Are you playing it to go to the professional level? Why are you in sports right now?
Well, honestly, I played football my entire life. Before I, started taking school seriously, before knowing how to read and knowing how to comprehend a lot of stuff to be able to handle school and to be able to be in school, playing football taught me so much. It's so much stuff that I learned on the football field that translates to real life in the real world that put me over the hump that I need to be over. So I continue to play football because I still have a love and a passion for it. And
all right, so give us three things. Give us 3 things that you learned from football that you've been able to use in real life.
Okay. The first thing would definitely be, if you don't work hard and you don't put the effort into something, rather if you get the results you want or not, you're never going to get to where you want to be. Because you could fail at something and still get through something, even just from trying. And that's the biggest thing that I believe in the most. That's one thing, definitely discipline. Definitely, if you don't hold yourself accountable for certain things, like if you don't show up on time, if you don't be where you need to be on that spot when they throw I'm a receiver. So, if I'm not at the spot, it's not all about how you run the route or, how you break somebody off. It's about being in the spot that quarterback expects you to be in. And that's definitely the discipline that I learned. It's the same thing as, I could relate that to life by saying, if I'm not at home on time, I got to stay wherever I'm at because my mom said you can't come home at a certain time after dark. So the discipline I had to install, me being like that in football helped me with that with my mother and being home so she don't have to worry about me being in the streets or being unsafe at night. And another thing is also definitely my character. You got to have to be a great player, you got to have a strong character. You know, because one of my favorite sayings that I hear all the time is, you know, a good player will encourage himself. A great player will encourage everybody else around him. Character is everything. You know, character definitely set me apart from most people. And that's in the real world because, you know, my senior year, I won Ideal Male Student. I'm the first African American to ever win a 24-karat gold trophy at my high school. And, you know, that just showed a lot because it just showed I wasn't just good at football anymore. I had character, and I was able to do something more besides football, outside of football. Yeah.
Okay, discipline, character. What's the third thing you learned from football that you can use in real life?
Dedication. Being a college athlete is hard. You know, playing football my entire life is hard. It's a lot of sacrifice, and there's definitely a lot of time put into it. Because if you don't put the time into it, you are not going to get the results. It's people who love football put a lot into it. So if you don't love football more than somebody else, they're going to pretty much either be better than you or they're going to be able to stop you in the game. So I always feel like that. You know, it's times where I always think about the competition out here. You know, when it's times when I'm tired or I'm with the family, even if it's late, if we get back home late, I'm back in my room doing push-ups. I'm waking up early, catching balls in the backyard, doing ball drills, doing feet work drills. You know, I always felt that when my time came, I was going to be ready. And that's definitely the dedication that you need. So those are my three things that I feel that's most important as a football player, and that relates to life.
Okay, so you may be the youngest person that I've had on the podcast. So I'm going to take this time out to ask you a very selfish question. Did you have a rebellious phase in your life?
Can you explain a little bit what you mean by that?
Yeah, rebellious. Like, there's a big controversy. The topic of conversation is typically that teenagers, for the most part, have a rebellious phase that they go through as far as with their parents taking care of them. Have you ever been a rebellious child?
Okay, so is that like saying so is it like are you trying to say like going against what my parents saying? Or like things that they're doing?
Yeah, going against their direction or their guidance, like you just mentioned. You know, you got to be home at a certain time. Were you the type of kid that was like, nah, I'm gonna push it to the limit. I'm gonna come home a little late and try it. Did you talk back? Were you disrespectful at any point in your teenage years?
Okay, so in my teenage years, I found myself not hardly ever disrespectful to my parents because I know that them doing the best for me. I knew that, you know, one thing I always learned, when people look out for you or they take the time out to do something for you or care enough about you to try to educate you to help you with something in life, you always look out for those people. You always treat those people right. So when my parents, you know, at least making sure I have a roof over my head and clothes on my back, they always gave me the humble feelings to say, no matter what, I'm not going to disrespect my parents, and nobody else going to disrespect my parents. So, you know, it's still a lot of mistakes that I made that I went through that I didn't have to go through because, you know, my parents would still tell me, like, you know, don't do that or, you know, don't mess with that female or, you know, stay focused and stuff like that. And I still test the water, you know, go date a girl or, you know, hang out with my friends, certain friends that be in the street and things like that and get me into situations that I didn't personally want to be in, but I had to learn from them. So definitely just testing the water, just trying to understand stuff on my own.
All right, I'm on YouTube. I'm on YouTube, Devonte, and I have 3 YouTube channels. I'm trying to get into this motivational thing. My own thing ain't working. I'm not self-motivated at all. and I need some motivation. I have three channels I could choose from. E.T. the Hip Hop Preacher. I have Les Brown, and I have Devonte Simon. Let's say I subscribe to all three. I know what I'm going to get from Les Brown. I know what I'm going to get from E.T. But most people don't know you the way that they know Les and E.T. So they don't know what to expect is what I'm saying. But I feel, because I've seen your YouTube channel, I've seen your videos, I feel that they will find inspiration. And my main objective with this podcast and with everything that I do, so many people are talking about taking vacations away from social media. Like, oh, social media is so bad. Social media is terrible. It's so negative. And what I believe is that it's people's timeline. And I feel that you need to, if you feel that way about social media, you have to go through the people that you're following. With that being said, what should people expect when they go to your YouTube channel?
People definitely going to expect to be inspired. You know, I promise you, most of the people that watch my stuff, they will always find something new about myself that really relates to them. And also, it's going to definitely be entertaining because, you know, even with my last video, you know, I made sure that the first one was a commercial, you know, of me working out and me running with the kids and doing things that I do in my neighborhood. Then the next video was a video of me on my college campus, you know, riding around my college campus, getting into the weight room, you know, being inside the library, being and stuff like that. It's showing people that don't have hope or, you know, who've never seen the college campus before because they don't have somebody to take them. But then watching my video, you get a good story and be able to see how a real college campus looks. And also my favorite thing about my videos, when you check, you know, my videos out, when you watch them, I want people to think. I want to put people in a situation to really think about stuff because, you know, in the generation that we live in today, a lot of people don't have the opportunity to think for themselves. They just, you know, just because they with a certain crowd of people, they feel like they got to think as one, got to think like everybody else. But with them seeing me, I'm more of an individual when it comes to my videos and a lot of things I've been through. So with that, it shows that if you be yourself and follow your dreams, yourself, the dreams you have for yourself, not the dreams other people have for you, you can get everything you really want. Because that's all I'm about. That's a testimony to God to show that. Because, you know, a lot of times I just wasn't happy because I was always doing other stuff to make other people happy. But as soon as I found out what I really like doing, and then I was still able to play football, and then it relates to football, it just made my life a whole lot easier. But I promise you, a lot of stuff that I got coming up, people are going to really like it. You know, I don't want to just be good at one thing. You know, I don't want to make everything about football all the time. I want to be able to touch everybody. I want to be able to touch everybody and make them think about the things that they want and be able to know that they can go get it.
That's dope. And my next question is, do you know God or do you believe in God?
I personally, I know God. I know that, you know,
how do you know
where I'm
you
at
know
right now, I know him because every night, you know, a lot of things that I do, I have visions of it when I'm asleep. There's times where, you know, I can literally just pray to God and say, God, you know, relax me. You know, God, put me in a state of mind I need to be in to make it through the day. Because having dyslexia, it's a lot of times when even being in college, you know, when I first got to college, it was a struggle. You know, it was a struggle doing the big essays, reading a lot. And, you know, I every time I struggle or any time I get anxiety and I, you know, want to panic, I just pray to God and I say, God, relax. Because everything that I've been through, honestly, I have no reason being here. So me being here shows me that, God, you have a plan for me being here. So whatever I have to do today, give me the strength to do it. And anybody that come in my area, let me change the atmosphere to motivate them to do their best, the same way that you give me the strength to do mine. And I know for a fact because when I do my motivational stuff or when I read, I know that God gives me the understanding that I need to get through it because there's times where when I don't have to focus, it is like a whole bunch of words on one paper and I just can't get right. But when I pray, the days I pray and the days that I believe and I know, it just gives me all the strength that I need. Definitely. I pray every morning with my grandmother every day I wake up.
All right. Okay, so you know God. All right.